what is a we just studied about small things about class. Now actually if we can define it more, a class defines a kind of category, for example, a tree is a category. It is not actually, a tree does not exist. There is nothing known as tree. There can be a mango tree, there can be a banyan tree, but there is nothing known as a tree. A tree is a category. Means a tree is category. Anything any object that specifies the feature list of a tree will be known as tree. So any object that fulfills the features of a tree will be known as a tree, right? Similarly, a fruit is also a, what is a fruit? A fruit is a category. We may specify more. We may have a apple, or we may have orange. These are specific objects, but a fruit is a category. There is nothing such known as fruit, right? Correct. Now basically, so this is a class is used for defining a category. Actually, whenever you want to in your program, whenever you want to use any real-time object, whenever you want to show any real-time object in your program, at that time you make a class. So whenever we need to make a real-time object in program, we can make use of class. Example, see, a class is written with a class keyword. It's written with a class keyword, right? So we can just write as, we can just go for his class 1, or suppose I will go for his class tree. Let's say I'll take a practical example, a class tree. Now using class we can make any kind of, this is actually model. We are preparing a model of real-time object in the program, right? So using a class we can prepare any kind of object in the program. How? We'll just see. Using class we can prepare any kind of object in the program. Right. Example, we are having a class tree. Every object, so as per the rules of OOPS says that any object can be defined by two things, right? Any object can be defined by two things. First is your property and second is behavior. We can know anything. Property is, suppose example, if we just take an example of a car. So properties of a car will be its color, its brand name, or its horsepower, its average, bhp, ground clearance, etc. Okay. Right. These will be the properties. And behavior will be, we can only know the behavior once we drive the car, right? So behavior can be known by, we can have behavior as the acceleration, right? Then reverse acceleration means when you apply the brake, how fast it comes to an end, right? So reverse acceleration. engine working. If the engine working is something special, then your car will have special functionality. So engine working, right? So these are some of the behaviors. Or if you take the example of an employee, or if you take the example of employee, so employee will also have some properties and behavior. For example, if you take a company employee, so he'll have a name, he will have address, if his marital status, his qualification, these all are his properties. But after properties, his behavior come. So what is there in the behavior? We'll have his performance. What is the performance of employee? Then about leaves, how many leaves has he taken? Then about his skills and all these things. So behavior, any object in this word, in programming word, can be defined using properties and behavior, right? So how do we write properties and behavior in programming, right? So we can say any object. Properties, if you see, properties are the constant values or simple values, while behavior is definition. You need to write several lines for defining the behavior. So properties are made using variables. Properties are made using variables. We make properties using variables. Whereas behavior is certain set of definition. It's always behavior. It's always the certain set of definitions, right? So we have this behavior. So behavior can be defined using methods or functions, or the functions, methods or functions, right? For example, so here we come at this specific point about the class car. If I just talk about the class car, right? So a class car, it will have is string name, string brand, string color, float cost. All these things are coming, right? And behavior can be defined using, we can define the behavior as void acceleration, void engine working, right? All right. So we can just similarly for an employee, if we just take an example of employee, so class employee. So class employee can be, you can just define it as string name, string address, string qualifications, then void performance, right? If person is working on any project, then void project status, yeah, project progress, right? Void leave performance, how many leaves has he taken, why has he taken, and all those things, right? All right. So if you can easily see, it helps us in preparing a wonderful object, right? A wonderful class, right? Now if you just see, this class is only defining a general information, means it is not defining this employee is ABC or XYZ. This is just a general information, right? This is simply a general information. So a class is only like a definition. It is only like a definition. A class will not occupy any memory. A class is simply defining set of rules. A class is simply defining set of rules of how the object is formed, of or we can say it is set of rules of what kind of object we want, right? Isn't it? It is simply set of rules, or in one more definition we can say a class is blueprint. Is a blueprint of object. Means inside this class EMP, if we are just making this class EMP and suppose we have written all these things, so a class will have no significance of its own. A class itself is of no meaning. A class is simply like a plan or a blueprint or a definition, right? So a class itself has no meaning of its own. A class will simply one class will occupy no memory. A class will occupy no memory of its own. It will not occupy any memory, right? Basically, so a class is simply a kind of model. Suppose I can give you an example. If you are going to buy a computer and you go to a shopkeeper and you tell him that you write the specifications, so that I want this kind of computer. Now class is that kind of specification in our computer world. So class is simply a set of specifications of how object will be made. You are giving the shopkeeper set of specifications of what kind of system you want. As per your specifications, he will prepare your system. So a class is simply set of specifications of how the object will be formed, right? Now when we will form EMP RAM, this is an object. EMP ABC or EMP Shiva, this is an object. EMP and RAM and Shiva are now two objects, right? And how are they objects and how are they related to class, right? We need to know this. So fine. So now we can just see to make a simple class here. So just I'll go for, you can just get this. If you're not getting this project window, you can get it from here. Windows, project, files, favorite, services, everything, right? So I'll just make a small first app itself. Alright. So I'll just make a small class. So the class is class 1 or class employee, we can take class employee. Okay, in class employee what we can take is, we can just go for as something string name, then string email, string address, right? Then void performance. So later on we can write the logic of calculating performance of this employee. Right. So here it will be system dot out dot println performance of employee. Right, we can just go with it. Correct. Now this is a simple class. Okay, this is another class. Okay, and basically this class is having the main method. Now inside, in a normal Java program, right, the execution will start from the main method itself. This main method should be public, it should be static, it should be void, and it should accept a set of arguments, right? If you are not satisfying any such parameter, then the JVM will not recognize the main method. So execution will start from the main method. In fact, JVM will execute only the main method. JVM will execute only the main method. So what we can do is, we can call all the activities in main method only. We can call all the activities in main method only, in main method itself. The main method of Java is public. It is public. It should be public. It should be static. It should be void, and it should accept array of arguments as parameter. If you are not specifying all the important parameters of main, JVM is not going to recognize this main, and it will throw you an exception, main not found, right? If all these parameters of main are not completed, then main will not be recognized. It will not be recognized by the JVM, and it will throw an exception. Main not found. Just let's try this, main not found. Okay, I'll just remove this. Okay, save it, and I'll just try to run it. Does not have a main method, right? And you see the output, that is a different output. Run it, main not found, right? So it says the main has not been found. Now in this case, main has been found, but we have written some code. We have written class employee, but since we are not doing anything inside the main, the program will do nothing, right? So it will execute only the main method. Suppose we write only this thing, system.out.println hello. So currently it will do nothing. You may have written this class employee, but since you are not using it in the main, it has nothing to do. It is like a useless thing that you have written, right? So only hello. So JVM will execute only those things that is written in the main, since it executes only the main method of yours, nothing else, right? And main should be public, it should be static, it should be void, and it should accept array of string arguments, right? Now we'll just look at it more. Why main is public? We need to know this. Why main is static? Why main accepts set of arguments? We'll have a discussion on it. Right. Currently I just talk about the object. Now object, actually object, when we make an object, at that time the memory is occupied. Only at that time the memory will be occupied, and this memory will be as per the specifications of the class. The structure of this memory will be as per the specifications of class. For example, we can just see a small example here. If suppose I have some class here, suppose I have a class EMP employee, and it has string name, then it has a string address, and void performance. These are we call them, these three are the members of the class, right? So these are the members of the class, right? So these members, when we make an object, suppose we make an object known as RAM, right? So what will happen actually inside the memory, right? This RAM will occupy a small memory, as it will be a small block of memory that will have a name, it will have address, and it will have performance. All these things will be present here, right? And similarly, when we make one more, I make for Harry. Okay, so Harry will also have a separate set of memory. It will also have a separate set of memory that will be same to as. It will also have name, it will have address, it will have performance. Why it is same? It is same just because they both are objects of the same class. But these both objects are not same. It is example, suppose two people are working in a company. They both are working in the same company. So they both will have same features and same powers, maybe same salary. But both the persons will not be same, right? So an object is basically responsible for representing a real world object into real life, into real world programming. Only when we make the object, memory is occupied, and that memory will be as per the specification of the class. And we can say object brings a class into life. Object will bring a class into life, right? So as per this object will be like a separate object in Word. For example, if you want to represent two employees, we can make two objects. If we want to represent two employees, we can make two objects, right? Now each object is right. So a class will have no memory. This is very much clear. Class is only the blueprint of how the object will be. Only an object will occupy memory. Only an object will occupy memory. Right, correct. Every object, if we make two objects, two set of memories will be occupied. Right? Every object will have its own separate memory. Every object will have its own set of memories, right? Okay, for example, as I was showing you, Ram and Harry are two different entities. Similarly, if I introduce one more, if I just go for a Shiva, so he will also be a different entity. Now all the three are three different entities, though they belong to the same class, but all the three are very separate entities, right? So it's like that. Every object will occupy a separate memory. Every object is going to occupy a separate memory. Now we should also know what is the syntax of making an object. What is the syntax of making an object? Right? Syntax of making an object is very easy. It's class name, then whatever your object name, object identifier, you can write an identifier here, is equal to new class name. Initially this is the way we are going to make an object. Alternatively, we can split LHS and RHS into two different lines. We can split the left hand side and right hand side in two different parts, as class name, object identifier, and object identifier is equal to new class name. It is equal to new class name. We have object identifier and it is equal to new class name. We can write. So let's make an object of the employee here. We'll just make a small object of the employee. So I'll just delete this code. go for emp ram is equal to new emp, right? It's, I think so, employee ram is equal to new employee. Similarly, employee Shiva is equal to new employee. So we have made two different employees by making two different objects. We just made two different employees by making two different objects. Now, there are certain points in an object that we need to understand, right? For example, what is new keyword? We need to understand what is new keyword. What is this new keyword? How an object is formed, right? How can we call the members where the object will occupy memory? Where is this going to occupy memory? Then how can we call the members of object? Mind one thing please, these are the members of class, these are the class members, these three, and this is the member of object, this is the member of Ram object, while this is the member of Harry object, and these are the members of Shiva object, right? Alright, one very small thing, first and foremost thing, after we make an object, all of the three are going to occupy a separate memory. We can call the members of the object by object name dot the object member name. So we can easily call it as, this is Shiva, so Shiva dot name, Shiva dot address, and Shiva dot performance. It's quite easy. And here also I can go for Ram dot name, Ram dot address, and Ram dot performance, right? Actually, when I will write Shiva dot name, this specific element inside the computer memory will be called. When I call address, this is invoked, and in this case this is. While Ram dot name will invoke this, Ram dot address will invoke this, Ram dot performance is going to invoke this. This is how they will be invoked. Now, basically, so we can just say that we can call the members of an object by dot operator, and syntax is object name dot element name, and syntax is object name comma element name. We have object name and we have is element name, right? So if we can just see, Ram dot name is equal to Ram dot address or email is equal to ram@gmail.com, and Ram dot address is equal to Baroda. And then we can go for Shiva dot name is equal to Shiva, then Shiva dot email equal to Shiva@gmail.com, and Shiva dot address equal to Surat, let's say, right? We have this, we have name, email address. Performance is a method, so a function, we just need to call the function, nothing else. All we need to do is we just need to call the function, right? Now basically we can set the element into variable using dot operator. Similarly, we can get the elements also. For example, system dot out dot println address of Shiva is plus Shiva dot address, right? Similarly, if you want address of Ram, you can just write down address of Ram is, you can just go for plus Ram dot address, right? We have this. So here we can easily call this, okay, and when we just run it, so here we have, I can call the performance also of these methods. I can give a call to Shiva.performance, but since I have written no logic in it, all I have done is simply printed a statement. They both will result into same output. So I can go for Ram.performance, and similarly I can go for Shiva.performance, right? Just run it, and performance of employee and performance of employee. That's it, as simple as that, right? If I write some logic in it, then in that case I will have to count all the activities of Ram, and then I will print all the data of whatever the performance of Ram is. Similarly, I will also use the performance of employee for Shiva also, right? So this is how object orientation is going on. That is, when an object is formed, when we make an object, then a memory is occupied. This memory all the objects will have a separate memory, and they will have a member in it, and their members can be called using the dot operator. The syntax of making an object is using the new keyword. We make an object using the new keyword.